Information is the biggest helper and destroyer. I'm gonna say it again. Information is the biggest helper and destroyer because it creates that perspective that you have, that narrative that you have in your mind. You see what I'm saying? Because when you run across this information and you adapt this information or just these gems from anybody, it creates your reality when you believe it. Information can help you, but it can hinder you. When you're taking in this information, you want to take it in the most righteous light. You want to take the truth. You don't want to adapt somebody's whole perspective. Information is meant for the knowledge and for the gain of self, not only for self, but for self-benefit. You want to take these gems and hone in on them, but what you really want is wisdom. What you really want is wisdom. Information and knowledge is cool, but it doesn't help when you don't have that wisdom. That's what we're talking about today. We're gonna touch on a few key points and we're gonna get into it. Let's do it. So, bro, how I want to break this down for you guys is basically you can look at the biblical text. It spoke about how folks gain this knowledge of self or just information of self, and that information of self led them astray. Their knowledge of self led them astray, and what led them astray is they could see how people view them. You know, worrying about opinions, worrying about whether or not something is going to happen. You see what I'm saying? That information and that knowledge of self and just awareness of self is technically what messed up the world, if you want to be honest. When you looking at it or paying attention, people are self-conscious, but overly self-conscious. There's nothing wrong with being aware, but when you're embarrassed about something, about a situation, or just embarrassed of who you are in general, things tend to get ugly. Things tend to get ugly. Knowledge is not a bad thing, but the wrong knowledge gets into the wrong hands, and it is a bad thing. It's a horrible thing. You want to keep that in mind. Knowledge is nothing to be played with. Knowledge is nothing